Welcome back, guys, to another episode. I'm super excited for this one. I have a very special guest. We've known each other for a really long time. Don't know much about you other than our mutual affinity for metal and that you like to fish a whole bunch. So,
Yes, I do.
why don't you introduce yourself and tell the people where they can find you?
My name is Brett Williford. I was born here in Bakersfield, California, 1989. I'm 38 years old. I'm a husband, a father, a fabricator, and a fisherman. And
Eat that mic. Sorry. Oh.
no sweat. Just a little nervous. Sorry.
You're good.
Uh,
No reason to be nervous. We're just hanging out.
what else?
Where can people find you for your
Yeah,
fad
so
stuff and
I'm
your
on Instagram at Wayne Bretsky 13. I kind of keep it low key on there. I don't really post too often. No more real welding or anything like that stuff. More just fishing and family kind of stuff nowadays. But
you fish a lot, huh?
yes, I do. Yes, not.
You're building a boat.
Yes, I did. I built a boat.
Let's look that thing up. You can keep talking, but go ahead and tell me why you started doing that.
Why I started building the boat or fishing?
Both. Did
Okay.
you fish when you were a kid?
Yeah, I did actually. We'll get into that right now. My love for fishing came from my grandfather, actually, who was pretty much my male role model figure in my life, and he was old and had some health problems, and really got me started on it when I was younger, getting dropped off at my grandparents' house and watching the old fishing shows. And he would break down the lures. And at the time, he was not in very good health. He had recently had like an amputation, lost his leg, and from like diabetes and stuff.
I was gonna, yeah.
And so he wasn't able to ever take me. And he was a great dude, great role model for sure. He was a craftsman, did amazing woodwork, and I think we actually have no blood relation at all. He was a step grandfather, and really kind of showed me how to take pride in my work and stuff, that whatever I did, And
What did he
he was
make?
he at the time. I mean, I guess he was retired and stuff, but he did a lot of painting and like woodworking, like decorations. I remember he used to paint like water tanks around town, like those really like by Truxton Lake, like the
Oh,
beautiful
really?
water tanks.
That's cool.
Yeah, he was a painter and did stuff like that. And him and his buddy had a back in the day they had like a little cabin up in like Fraser Park, I guess, where they fished, and like Pyramid Lake and that kind of stuff
Yeah.
way back in the old school times.
So fishing was always in the.
Yeah, and then
Was your hold? So we jumped a little bit ahead. I don't mean to cut you off. You, your, you, was your dad around when you were a kid?
no, my he had some legal problems and ended up in jail.
Okay.
And my first real memories of him would be when I was like 7 to 9 years old, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
I think. And then he was he just lived a different lifestyle, and so he wasn't the best role model. You know what I mean?
What about your mom?
She was a pretty hard nosed chick. Uh, Definitely what shaped me for sure.
Hard nose.
Just very blunt and honest with me,
Okay.
and you know,
You guys, what side of town you grow up on?
we moved to Oildale when I was in the third grade.
Okay.
So I mean, that's really all I know.
Yeah, I know that. See, and that's what that was like the biggest part of like getting excited before this is because but like I said, I don't really know anything about you, but I don't even remember how we met. We've just kind of always known each
Yeah,
other.
we've just similar circles, similar interests,
Yeah.
similar guy.
Interesting.
Yeah. I don't know either. We've just always known each other. I remember the hardcore shows and the metal shows and stuff, and seeing you and your crew. Me and my crew. I think we've even fought a couple times.
Probably.
Yeah, and
It's so funny.
good times, honestly.
I know. My girlfriend complains because I'm like, I'm like showing her fight videos. She's like, why do boys do that? It's just like, It's just
part
fun.
of it,
It's
you
just
know.
yeah. It's just
Unfortunately, it's changed a little bit now. You gotta worry about what somebody's gonna pull out of their pocket.
yeah.
But
I'm friends with like all the people that I fought growing up.
yeah, same here.
It's
Same
weird.
here. Same here.
It's cool. Anyways, sorry, I don't mean to, I get off like that
No
all the
worries.
time. But I thought we skipped ahead a little bit because I'm curious about your childhood. You know, did you like the household? Your grandparents. You mentioned your grandparents right off the
Yeah.
spot. So were you spending a lot of time there?
Yeah, my mom worked, single mom, so she had to drop me off there summers and that kind of stuff. So I did spend a lot of time with them in my youth, and definitely made an impact on me. He
Was he always fishing like from?
no, he at this point, from my recollection, I he was just too kind of beaten down. He had lost a leg. He really
Yeah.
wasn't able to go and do anything
Okay.
anymore. So it was more like we would literally break out a tackle box and he would show me these different lures and explain them to me and how to use them, and then we'd watch like the Bill dances and the Roland Martin show, like all that different stuff, and he really hammered it in my head. And then he had started making progress and seemed like he started talking about, he's going to get me out there, and his friend had a boat still and they were going to take me out. And then I played a lot of football growing up,
Mm-hmm.
and coming back from a football game one day, he was driving the car in front. He was in the car in front driving. We were in my mom's truck behind, and all of a sudden, the car that he was driving just took off, like it hit the accelerator, smashed on it. And what happened was he had a heart attack.
Oh man.
Yeah, and so my mom, I mean, thankfully he was in kind of a gutless like V6, nothing crazy. And my mom's truck was a lot quicker, so she sped up and she got in front of him and she slammed on the brakes, and they hit us. And I jumped out and I ran around and I ripped the door open and pulled him out, and he laid on the ground and he just died. And I think I was 11, 10, 11, 12, somewhere around there.
Gosh damn it, bro.
Yeah, and it was rough, dude. And the roughest part was really nobody talked to me about it.
What was his name?
Earl. And
What was
it
his last
definitely
name?
John, Earl John. And he and just something, you just kind of a scarring moment, you know what I mean? And but I got over it, and
You'll never get over that. That's something you don't get over.
yeah, it was rough. I think about it still, but
You watched it.
yeah, I watched the life leave his eyes and everything. And at least we were looking at each other, and he was probably comfortable.
Do you feel that way? Did like that? Do you feel like he was like you guys were like communicating like
Yeah, yeah. It was weird, dude. And you just kind of watched him fade, and it was really crazy. There was this lady that showed up, dude, and she started doing CPR on him, and she turned around and was like, "He's too far gone." And then she just like disappeared. It was the weirdest thing. My mom's convinced she was an angel, and it was just the weirdest thing. You turn around, this person's gone, and there happened to be an ambulance right there, and they were coming on the opposite side. It was right on the overpass at Centennial High School, that little overpass over the canal, right at the base of it. And yeah, there's an ambulance on the opposite side of the road. They hopped the median and were zapping him and everything, man. And they acted like he was alive. I think they were probably just doing that for me. And
were you freaking out?
no,
How?
I don't know. And yeah, the got him to the hospital, and the life never came back in him. And then I remember I went home, and then my dad had actually uh, came and woke me up. I remember, I was awake until the sun came up, and then I somehow fell asleep, and my dad woke me up like, "Hey, he didn't make it through the night." And
But you already knew he was.
yeah, I watched him die.
So your brain just wasn't processing. It was just
Yeah,
frozen.
probably.
How old were you? You said.
It's so blurry, but I would have been in the 6th grade, maybe,
So
or
that
5th
made
grade.
you probably pretty hard right out the gate.
right out the gate, dude. And then another really crappy thing happened within that same year, and it was after my grandfather passed, and we were living at this apartment complex, and there was a guy barbecuing, and he had a balcony above his, and he had a leak in the propane tank, and it exploded.
What?
Yes. And me and my friend Jonathan Wilson, we were swimming at the swimming pool at the apartment complex, and we heard this huge boom and black smoke, and we didn't even communicate. We just hopped the fence and sprinted there. And I ran to the apartment door, and I flung the apartment door open. And Jonathan ran to the neighbor's yard, and he hopped their balcony, and he grabbed the water hose, and he threw it over. And I opened that guy's door, and as I opened the door, he was running out the door. And he was covered in plastic from the mini blinds that hang for the sliding glass door. Apparently, that had melted like a sheet of plastic, and he ran through it.
Oh.
And so he was covered in it. And Jonathan had turned on the water hose, and I sprayed him down, and it just sizzled, and all the
Hardened.
plastic got hard, and he started to pull it off of himself,
Oh.
and it just took all the skin with it.
Gosh.
And I just watched that guy in like the most pain that you could ever imagine, and he died.
What?
Yeah, and he'd actually died. He went to the hospital
From an infection, probably?
No. It was about 3 days later, and they had a shift change, and the nurses accidentally overdosed him with morphine, and he died. But he was covered head to toe. I mean, the only thing that wasn't really burned was like a small section of his lower back, because like everything had draped over him. So it was really like,
It just wrapped him up.
yeah, it was basically like his lumbar.
And it's all
So
different pieces, so it just every little.
just the sand. I was trying to keep him calm.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so I had a couple things like that happened, and it really kind of made me lose faith in God, made me angry at God. It made me callous. And what really made it worse was that it was kind of ignored. Both those instances, you know what I
By
mean?
the people around you.
Yeah, it was kind of like, just keep it moving.
You think that they just didn't know how to deal with it?
Absolutely. It's not that they were bad people. It's just that how the hell do you? You know? This is honestly the most I've ever talked about.
Well, thank you for coming and doing this, man. I know you're nervous, and I don't mean to pry into things. I think it's important to get
Oh,
my
yeah.
story out, and so I think that everybody's story matters.
Yeah, yeah.
And as you're saying these things, I don't know if you can see my arms and what they're doing, but I'm getting goosebumps, and it's almost like I can feel it.
Yeah, it feels like a movie or a story.
Like it doesn't.
Nah. Yeah, I got to be honest. The only reason that I'm here is something that my kids can have and look back on. If anything ever happens to me, maybe it's an explanation of their dad. So I came here to be 100% honest, and
Yeah.
just get it out. That way, if something ever happens, they could look back and be like, oh, that's why he was that way. Or,
You feel like you're judged a lot by the people around you?
yeah. And something that I heard when I was younger, and I didn't realize it until I was older, and it's the truest thing in the world, is that take a look at your friends and you will see your future.
Yeah, 100%.
I don't know why that has to be true, but it is true.
You can meet those people. It's just you surround yourself with the negativity, you're going to have negative reactions. You can still love them from a distance.
Yeah, I still do. I have a lot of friends that I just can't hang out with anymore. I have a lot of friends that passed away.
Bro, I've lost 4 friends this year. That's crazy.
Yeah,
I'm like, when? Oh my God, like I'm next.
they drop like flies. I mean, it's sad. I could have been one of them. I think a couple of times I was real close to being one of them.
Probably should have been sometimes.
For sure.
That's a freaking wild story, bro.
Yeah, so that kind of explains the way I was. I think I was an angry, misguided kid for sure.
You said that. You said there's something you said like whenever you first got here, and I don't remember this of you. And maybe it's because I was the same exact way. You said you were like angry and mean and like,
More so on the inside, I think I used humor and jokes and being outrageous to cover that up. You know what I mean?
and a lot of people probably thought it was bullying.
Yeah, yeah. And no, I was never a bully. Actually, I was anti-bully. I got in fights when I found out people were getting bullied. I went to go fight the bully. You know?
I think I come off as a bully, and I didn't know it. My mom, I just do whatever I know. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? I cuss, I say weird stuff, but it's because I don't know how to deal with like these. Like as you're telling me the story about that guy with the like, my brain is like going, make a joke about this, make a joke about this, make it because I'm like
How do
I
you deal? It's an easy way to deal with stuff. It
yeah,
is.
yeah. It's so hard to do how like because even thinking it now, I'm not gonna. I'll never look at blinds the same again.
Oh yeah, it actually scared me away from barbecues for years. I couldn't light a barbecue. Natural gas freaked me out. Yeah, it was terrible, man. The pulling the plastic off, and then he was in such pain that he just kept pulling,
Didn't
and
know what to do.
the sound of his skin hitting the ground, the wet concrete that he was standing on, something I'll never forget. He just kept pulling things that weren't plastic, and it was his skin, man. And yeah, it was sad because he was a really big guy, and I remember his wife, and he had two young kids, and his wife ended up getting a settlement, of course, and that'll never bring him back. But I
No.
mean, it was just a really brutal thing to see, and it made me instantly realize that we are insanely fragile, uh, and it could all be over. And even if you go through something terrible, somebody else could just mess up.
So I can tell almost like you're a safety guy.
I'm ever since then, it's probably changed something in me, but I'm always looking for what can happen, and it's even parenting with my wife. It causes every now and then we'll get into a little argument because I'm just a little too like, hey, you can't do that because here's what, and she's like, you gotta let them be kids, Brett. And I'm like, you're right, you're right.
Trauma does that, man.
Hmm.
It does. It's like a little like a set of handcuffs. You know what I mean? Like you're not allowed to do this because you know how bad it really could
Hmm.
be.
I've always been that type. I'm always looking for what can go wrong, and definitely it's like anxiety inducing sometimes. You know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah, for sure. I see people driving around work doing like not where I'm at right now, but just in the years of doing the things, and you see people doing things,
Hmm.
and you're like have you have you not seen the videos?
Yeah.
Like, do you not know? Like,
Well, yeah, I mean, even back then there was no social media. There was no stuff like we see today. So it was real. It was a real like, holy shit, kick in the pants.
I still see people using their grinders on with cutting discs backwards,
Oh yeah.
and I'm like, hey, like, come on, we all know,
Hmm.
put it down.
Yeah, I mean, maybe what maybe that helped me to why I still have all my fingers, and you know
Yeah,
what I mean. Who knows?
I I honestly don't know where to go from that because we started
That was
off,
heavy. That was
yeah,
heavy.
started off
We'll get
heavy.
the heavy stuff out of
Let's
the
do
way.
it.
But that was my early life, and
And how old were you whenever that happened? You didn't
so
mention that.
yeah. So this would have been. It was.
You said it was close
It
to.
would have been about sixth grade.
Damn it! It is the same time as your grandpa.
Yeah, it was. It was during the same football season, is why I remember.
Holy crap!
It was like bang bang. So yeah, and
And so I mean, back then they didn't know anything about like trauma or anything. I mean, back then it was the wild, wild west. Your kids pretty much just did whatever the hell they
yeah,
wanted.
I was real lucky that I had a group of friends that we were all real similar in life. We all kind of grew up with single moms, and we all lived in this apartment complex. We were all the same age or within a year or two of each other, and so we definitely all bonded. Like that. We were really tight for several years until life takes its different paths. But I was real lucky to have them for sure. And I learned that, at least I thought that, friends are your family. And,
Yeah.
I put a lot of effort into friendships. And as you get older, you start making changes in your life to better yourself, and you stop getting the invites. a little bit of success kind of sometimes brings bitterness, and you start losing those friends. But I'm a firm believer. I think a lot of people get removed from your life so other people can come in. I don't think that you can necessarily have the space for all these different characters in your life.
Interesting. Yeah.
Sometimes when one door shuts, as cheesy as it sounds, another one opens. So, a lot of the people that I grew up with and spent a lot of time with, we no longer spend that much time together. We still talk, and I still have the same amount of love I do for them, but we're just different people. Different paths, different goals, different parts of life. That could be, at this age of 38, you're going to run into people that are divorced and just getting married and brand new babies and kids going off to college. So it can be hard to, you know, maintain friendships and stuff like that. But the way things shook out for me, I wouldn't change it for the world. Last thing I want anybody to think is that this is some sort of sob story,
Yeah.
or not even really like, look what I did. It's more like just part of it.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that it's a sob story or anything. Like it's sad things happen
Mm-hmm.
in life, and trauma's real, and that's what the whole point of this show is to share. Like I guarantee you've witnessed something that I don't think anybody else on this earth has probably ever seen. I don't think that's never even went through my mind as a possibility
That
of
that could happen.
that's even a effing thing. And I can visualize it and see
Yeah.
it in my brain, and it's like it hurts. Like I can feel it on me, but I can't even imagine seeing because it like how do you don't forget it. You think about it
No.
all the time
Yeah.
because every time you see blinds, you're like, oh,
I lived in the same apartment complex. So my apartment was an identical copy of his. So every time I touched my front door, it was the craziest thing because I opened the door to run in to the building, and he was running out, and we almost collided. And I just jumped back. And so every time I would touch my front door, I would see that for years, until we moved out of that place. To be honest with you, and
so he must have ran into the
yeah,
house.
basically, it was like a perfect U-turn from him running through the sliding glass door. He had to do a U-turn to come out the front door.
So was he going to help? He probably was going in to help somebody else.
He probably had no idea what was going on. I like to
Damn,
think that
dude.
he had no idea what was going on, but he was completely covered like a wet blanket in that stuff. And spraying him down with the water, it literally sizzled, and it became hard, and he was ripping it off. And I'm like, just stop, 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 just be still. He just wouldn't, just trying to get that stuff off of him. But it was literally taking everything with it. Like I remember his eyelids gone, his ears were gone, completely gone. Uh, yeah, and it was just a wild thing to be a part of. Oh my god, dude.
This is crazy. Do you remember his name by chance?
I don't. I don't. I wish I did. I wish I did. I remember having to pry the info out of my mom what happened to him at the end because I kept asking, what happened, what happened, what happened. And she finally told me that he passed away. And it wasn't until later I actually seen it in a freaking newspaper, that it was printed in the newspaper that he had been an accidental overdose in the hospital during
I bet he
shipment.
was begging for it.
Yeah, I bet he was.
I bet he was begging.
I
Like,
never thought about that. But I
he's
bet
probably like, please, you don't understand. Just let me go.
it was pretty much everything from his lumbar to like the back of his knees were not burned.
It's so sad.
And the rest of his whole body was completely just torched.
You know, propane's always scared the shit out of me. You always see these videos where the tank's on fire or something. Somebody
Mm-hmm.
just runs up to it. Like, I don't think I'd have the balls to do that.
It was nuts, man. It was a crazy experience. I mean, when something like that happens, you're not thinking at all.
Yeah.
It's just fight or flight, and you chose. I chose to go help. So
Yeah.
did my buddy. I'm not some hero.
Yeah.
Uh, I ran to the door. He ran to the neighbors. And
Well, you just told his gnarliest story. So
he's got some gnarly stories too. I don't know.
you kind of are a hero. You know what I mean? If you weren't here, his story would have never been told. So, uh, thank you for that. Uh, rest in peace to that
Yeah.
dude, man. Good God. Well, this is fun. What a great
We'll
start.
lighten it up. So after my grandfather passed away, my mom kind of got to where she would drop me off places to go fishing. Like she would drop me off at Truxton Lake way before cell phones. I had to
How old were you whenever?
just immediately after, really, I guess.
Really?
After he passed away,
She maybe thought that was your therapy and just
yeah,
started.
maybe let him go out there. So she would
Yeah.
drop me off at places, and I remember, like, pick me up at this light pole at 4 o'clock. She was always like, "If you're not there once, you'll never go again." So I was, set the wristwatch,
Yeah.
and yeah, I mean, I fished.
Your mom sounds like a cool girl.
She is. She's a very tough woman. She's a cancer survivor, been through hell and back with relationship, a terrible marriage. Yeah, she's definitely a tough woman. But yeah, she would drop me off, and then that's really how I started learning how to bass fish. Was kind of on my own like that. There was no YouTube or nothing like that, and it really wasn't a cool thing to do. I always thought it was kind of nerdy.
Bass is your thing?
Yeah, bass, just bass, and
That's funny because I asked for a bass boat. And that's okay.
yeah, and that's where the fishing came from. And then once high school, I met some friends.
Do you
that
eat the
fished.
fish?
No, I let them all go.
Really?
Yeah, I honestly try to just target trophies bass, like the really big ones.
Will you take me fishing?
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
I'd like that.
The style of fishing I do can be pretty monotonous, but we'll switch it up and try to just catch some. But yeah, I just try to just fish for the trophy ones and take real good care of them. And what I do is I measure them. I take really good photos. I take measurements around them.
Yeah, so I have your Instagram pulled up. You are always pulling fish. I see it like every week you're fishing, no?
Yeah, I don't actually fish that much. I really focus the times I fish around certain moon phases that seem to benefit me. Makes the big ones more predictable.
Why don't you eat them?
A fish this size or that size is around 12 to 14 years old, man.
Oh, interesting. I never even thought
Yeah,
about it like
yeah,
that.
and it's actually like a genetic lottery for them to ever even get that big. They really don't. They're in a gnarly
Yeah, you don't want
environment.
to kill them, huh?
No, no, I want those genetics in the water. I want them to spawn and have more.
That's cool. I think a lot of people think like fishing immediately is just, well, that's how I think, like, oh, fish to eat. And I'm like sitting here talking like, cuz I got a fishing pole just recently cuz I want to get into it, but I don't want to eat the fish.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not.
Dude, that thing looks so sick.
Yeah, that was an insanely fun build. The whole reason behind this was to build it and finish it and then catch a double digit, so like a 10-pound plus largemouth before the spawn. So I started it in the winter and then had only a certain amount of time to really get through the build and then get the fish figured out and then catch one. And I was really fortunate.
Is
to
it done
pull it off.
now?
Yeah, it's done. I think it's got like 12 hours on the outboard, and I've caught quite a few good ones out of it. It's been fun. I really like a small. I've had really nice. I had a Ranger bass boat at once. I've had some beautiful boats, but the one thing I've noticed is a smaller vessel positioned correctly is really stealthy.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, these big fish don't get big for. They're very smart. They know their environment way better than we do. The type of fishing I do is more like hunting than it is fishing. Like I spend a lot of time on Google historical images to where our lakes go through fluctuations, so I can scroll around and I can find to where it shows the topographical bottom of the lake, and there's no water there, and I'll pick out the structure. And what these fish do is these bigger ones, they'll back themselves into areas and they'll sit and wait for a perfect moment to happen. And I use these lures. These big fish, they eat big trout, and they can eat one trout versus chasing small bait fish around all day. They just kind of lie in wait.
For a big fish.
Yeah, they just sit and wait for a big fish, and so it's really all about like the angles. And
How
what
the
they
hell
fish.
do you learn this?
I've been doing
Just
it.
been doing it.
Mm-hmm.
That's so badass,
Yeah,
bro.
it's like a science, dude. It's a.
You're giving away secrets right now.
Oh, dude, I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. I think somebody, if they just hear me speak and then go try to replicate it, they're gonna be disappointed. But if they stick with it, and they pay attention to their
And
surroundings.
so what lures are you using? Like you're using actual fish?
No, no, no. They're called glide baits, is what I mainly use, or swim baits, and they're just big, like 10 to 12 inch size lures, and they look like a trout, and they swim like a trout in like a serpentine style manner. And basically, I'll just line up. The trout are really fast. They'll outrun a bass every single time. So the bass is opportunistic. They hide in a spot to where maybe one's going to come around, and then they come out and grab it. Or with these lures, a lot of times they'll cause a lot of attention, so the fish will start to follow them, and then it's all up to the angles that you create. So you can create like a pinch point to where, like, oh, it's a perfect opportunity for that fish to push it up against the rocks or pin it up here or in a cove. So
Oh,
it's more like setting a trap.
yeah.
It's not really like casting a line and cracking a beer. It's
That's
more like
crazy.
pulling up really quietly. And I've actually, over the years, I've got it figured out to a certain point in the moon phase, and I've got it to where I can pretty much kind of call my shots within a 2 hour window.
I was just gonna say you have the ability. You when you go out to fish, it's not. I'm. I hope I catch a fish.
Yeah.
It's like I wonder which fish I want
Yeah,
today.
yeah. And see, I use these big lures because oftentimes if you're fishing in an area where there's a small fish present, they're desperate. So a small fish might reach out and grab your little worm or something, and then it kind of tips off the big bass that, hey, somebody's here looking
Yeah.
for us. So I use these big lures to kind of shoo away all the small ones, really target the big ones, and then it's just a timing. So you just got to first position the fish and then time the fish. And the unfortunate thing with these lures is that you lose because the lures are so big and they're so heavy that once these fish come up to the surface and shake their head once or twice, literally just the head shaking and the weight of the lure will rip the lure out. So you lose probably 40 to 60%. I mean, right around half easily.
Really?
Yeah, I've gotten so many videos, dude, and it's always the really, really big ones because they're so strong, and the skin on their face is just not as strong as they are. So them themselves can just pull it out. So it's just so first you have to figure out how to trick one into biting, and then you have to figure out how to land one. You know what I mean?
Do because you said you don't keep them, you release them.
hmm
Is there barbs on your hooks?
Yeah, there's barbs on the hooks. It's just a big treble hook on a lot of the ones that I like to use. So I mean, it doesn't cause much damage. A lot of the fish that I catch, you could look at them, they don't even have a mark on them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just their mouths are just a perfect thing to hook, especially if you get them in the corner of the jaw where there's lots of tendons and stuff. It's really tough and it'll stick right there. But if you get one on the back, or if they're hooked on only the back hook, a lot of times they're gonna come off.
Yeah.
But you can still learn. I've made it a habit to, regardless if I end up with the fish in my hands or not, I still learn from every
Oh
single
yeah,
one.
for sure.
These big fish, there's so much
And
to learn
being
from.
out there, just being out there is probably just being out there is probably just better than in nothing
Oh
anything. You
yeah.
know what I mean? Like, I'd rather be camping than not. You
Yeah.
know?
Oh yeah. It's fun. I mean, it's frustrating. Sometimes it's heartbreaking. I've hooked way bigger ones than I've ever caught. But I think that's just part of it. One of these days I'll get a really big one. What I'm after is kind of like a high teen.
Do you weigh them?
Yeah, yeah. So I weigh them and I measure them, and I get fiberglass replicas made.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. I got a guy that's back east that does my replicas.
How do you do it? What do you do?
So back in the day, actually,
Seriously, this is badass. You have
yeah.
there's just fish all over your shop or
I only
what?
have one done right now because they're pretty freaking expensive. But he's working on two more right now.
Really?
Yeah. So I'll have three big ones.
And how do you do that? What?
So I measure them. I have a board that I measure. I should have sent you a bunch of photos so you could have pulled them up.
Yeah.
But I have like a
Do you have
rollout.
anything on your phone?
Yeah. Yeah, I have
Oh,
like a rollout mat that I use, and I'll measure them in their
cool.
length, and then
I
I'll measure
wonder.
the girth of them, and then
Send them here. Hold on. You know what? I need to take.
just growing up with, I had friends that had older brothers, and
Yeah. Oh, and they're probably like,
hey,
hey,
get this kid
try
pumped
this,
up.
and they get you to say cuss words.
Oh yeah, all that and a little worse.
Oh, it's fun. All right. Before we left, we were talking about well, a lot about your boat and fishing. So, Go ahead and tell me about these.
Yeah,
I
so
don't.
here's the lures. These are a lot of the lures that I use. They're called glide baits. So this particular model is like 10 inches long, weighs like 6.5 ounces, I believe. Uh,
Why does the weight matter?
it's just that's how much they weigh. They're super heavy, so they're hard to cast. They require like a
Oh
custom built
shit, they are
rod.
huge.
Yeah, they're huge, big, and actually that's small because the trout that are in the lakes that I fish, they're
So they try to swallow the whole thing.
yeah. Well, the way that the bass mouth works, if you can go to this photo right here with the replica, so that's my replica that I currently have on the wall.
Oh, that's the one you were talking about.
Yeah, so the way that their mouth works is they don't like run up and actively bite something. They actually get up close to it and flex and pump their gills and inhale it like
Suck
a
it in.
vacuum. Yeah. So what happens with these large lures is you really got to be on your toes. They come up to it and they try to inhale it. The lure itself doesn't fold up and go into their mouth like a normal trout would. And so they get up with it pinned in the side of their mouth. So as soon as you feel the bite, you have to swing and set the hook because they know it's fake as soon as they touch it.
Really?
Yeah. And so they try to get away from it. And so what I'll do is I'll go around and I'll catch the trout. So like here is right after I finish the boat. It's like this. So I'll go catch the trout and I'll take photos of the trout and I'll try to match the paint jobs as accurately as I can. So if you go back and then you come check these ones out. So then I'll airbrush them to kind of look like the trout.
Wait, so you make your own lures?
I don't make the lures. No, I buy it. Like that one was a blank that I bought, and then they're just blank in color. I think I
And
sent.
you paint them?
Yeah, I airbrush them, or like these ones right here. They have a rubber skin on them, so all like that's metal flake, just like a Harley tank. So like that one has metal flake all under it. Just real silver. I found that the lakes that I fish, a lot of the trout they lose all their colors. They kind of become more muted and silver, just like that.
You know Devin Chew?
Uh-uh.
My buddy makes lures.
Of course, I know the name from Oil Dough.
Well, Darrett's brother, Darrett's older brother, but he makes these badass lures. I don't know how to spell Devin. Anyways, I should shout him out though. I mean, you fish, maybe you.
Right there. Oh yeah, saltwater stuff. That's cool. Wraps like the casting irons and stuff.
He makes poles too.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm gonna do next. I think I got some blanks and I'm gonna build my own rods.
Yeah, he makes these badass freaking poles. I, if I could afford it, I would do it. But I'm a broke dude.
You'd be surprised, man. I was broke doing it when I first started and just figure it out, make do.
I'm okay being broke. I see these people with money, and they don't seem happy.
More money, more problems, man.
I like to. I build my trucks and stuff out of stuff I find and whatever.
It's cool to be resourceful. I mean, I still am. I'm not rich by any means. I'm not. You know, I'm determined and hardworking.
Just checking my camera. Um. So I have these things written down. Fishing fab, aluminum, and life. You seem to have this love for aluminum, working with aluminum.
Yeah, I do for sure, for sure. I think that's a big reason of why I've been able to work for myself. Is there's a lot of people that seem to struggle with it, and the one thing I've realized is it's just like a high end painting or something like that, or it's all in the prep work and the work before the weld begins. Oftentimes everything's determined how it's going to look before you even make the first tack. If you're half-assing it, that's what it's going to look like.
I only bring that up because that's like one of my favorite things to work with.
Yeah, it's fun. It's challenging.
Yeah, it's like almost people like can't see it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's weird.
I like how it when you have like a weld joint set up perfect or something like that, how the weld will fall into place perfectly. And it's like the most rewarding thing, kind of lets you know that you're doing it all right. Where steel, you can get away with so much. You can't get away with terrible gaps on aluminum and stuff like that. You get backflow of oxygen and that kind of stuff
You
kills
brought up some earlier that you said like your grandpa worked with wood and
it.
stuff.
Much
And
harder, in my opinion.
yeah, I have this weird anxiety about wood. I
Hmm.
can't I, I don't know, maybe it's more permanent,
Yeah, there's no
but it's not.
yeah, there's it's just a one and you're done kind of thing. You get one cut, like there's no you can't fill a gap, you can't cheat, can't hide nothing. It's all right there for you to see. You need the grain to match up. I just tore some cabinets out of a buddy of mine's house and yeah, I was like, damn, I forgot how much I hate this. That's why I mess with metal.
Metal's fun.
My really why I think I ended up being a fabricator is growing up poor.
Yep.
I think that's the main
You
reason.
needed to fix things on your own.
Yeah, I was always the one. We were stealing lumber, building skate ramps,
Oh,
and I
it's
was
so funny.
modifying bikes and just everything you could think of. That's really kind of what. And and after my dad got out of prison, got his life back together, he started a plumbing company, which his whole family, my everybody in this town that with my last name's in plumbing, and he had like a plumbing and remodeling company, and that was the plan, like, oh, you're just gonna do this for me, drop out, and then like as soon as I did that, it kicked me out and fired me, I guess. And
Did you ever get into drugs?
no, I mean marijuana a lot. I mean up until honestly just not too recently, I used marijuana. I think
Yeah,
I
you
think it
mentioned that.
really helps me, or used to help me, really like hone in or lock in on things. I have a very busy mind,
Yeah.
and so it kind of slows the pace
Slows it
down.
down to where you can focus.
Back when I was mountain biking a lot,
I had
like
that
downhill
same
mountain
thing.
biking.
That's what I tell people. I'm like, man, I just can't. You
Hmm.
don't understand. Like, I hear so
You have to be
much.
careful with it because it can get to a point to where you've made yourself so foggy you're losing potential,
Yeah.
and that's something that I realized for
It's a
sure.
waste of money.
Oh gosh, yes, yes, and I
It's not
definitely
the
used it
same
as
as it used to be there.
no, it's so potent that it's might as well be a hard drug.
Yeah. It
You
needs
know,
to go back. Yeah, it is now. Yeah,
yeah,
for
it's
sure.
might as well be a hard drug,
Yeah.
and
And
I
not only
think
that, it desensitizes everything.
uh-huh.
You so that you like nothing is the same. Your food, nothing is.
Yeah, I mean, it took me a while even to be able to like lock into like I listen to welding by myself all the time. I listen to a lot of podcasts,
Hmm.
not just like junk pop culture stuff. I do a lot of historical stuff, and man, I used to just like lock into that stuff, and now I can't really focus on anything other than my work.
You mentioned something right before I ran off, and I told you I kind of shut you up, and I didn't mean to do that.
No, no.
But I wanted you to save it for this because I sometimes I get a lot of I get some negative feedback for what I'm doing, like I'm taking advantage of something, and I that's not my intention.
Man, I came here shaking, sweating, and nervous, and I feel like just saying the stuff I said out loud to start the show off with, I feel so much better, dude. It's weird. You might even see it in my demeanor. You know what I mean? And the stuff I said, I've only really ever spoke to my wife about, and so just getting it out there. Maybe that's what more people need to do.
You said something about talking to your mother.
Yeah, yeah. So in the lead up to this, I was super nervous, and I wanted to make sure that I had every detail that I could possibly have, like you know, childhood and stuff like that ironed out. That way I made no mistakes. Because, like I said, this is really, for me, this is just for my kids. Just to have, they can have something to click on. I told my wife, like, as soon as this drops, screen record it, save it.
It's gonna live forever.
Yeah, yeah. So I
It's gonna
wanted,
help a lot of people too.
so I wanted to make sure that I was just open and honest. And like I was telling you earlier, like, you get to this point in your life where you've kind of done everything that you've wanted to do. You figured it all out. I'm not done by any means. uh, Trying to set new goals and stuff like that. I'm not done, but you get to a point to where you no longer give a shit about what anybody thinks. Anybody, nobody matters but your wife, your kids, and really just your tight circle. And it's really helped me progress in my life. I feel like having that mentality. I mean, just I'm so much more open and honest, and I'm more the person I wanted to be. You know. But yeah, having the conversation with my mom, really kind of thankfully for this podcast, because we hadn't talked like that. It was like a 4.5 hour conversation, and I was able to ask her, like, why didn't you talk to me about any of that stuff? You
But
know,
she told you about it after you asked her.
like that he died.
No, before these dumb chords. Whenever, so you went to her to do all these details or whatnot, and then all of a sudden you guys had a serious conversation,
Hmm.
and so then she told you the truth after, like she
No,
would.
no, no. She told me when I was young about the guy passing away. She couldn't really hide it, and then I feel like within days I seen it in the newspaper what actually
Yeah,
happened, and then because back then, I mean, the newspaper. That's
I'm just trying to understand because like, so what was significant about this conversation?
just really, I guess, having the balls to ask her
Oh,
why she didn't, because I think deep down, and maybe I resented her a little bit for feeling so alone after those situations happened, and just kind of dealing with all that shit at that age on your own
you
self.
just never processed it.
No, no, no. I mean, I did. It took me years. Who knows how many years? 10, 15, 20 years. Who knows? But it's something I've played through my mind, each one of those scenarios over the years. And I've learned to cope with it and deal with it. And then, being married and talking to my wife about it and stuff like that,
Yeah.
really kind of helped. And then, like I said, my mindset changed and everything kind of evolved. And then being able to just ask her why, having the balls, I guess, just to say why. And, it just really it was how she was raised. She wasn't a huggy, kissy mom. I don't ever remember being kissed by my mom or hugged by my mom. It's just the way she was raised, really rough.
Yeah.
And so,
It's crazy how whenever you grow up a little bit, you're just like, oh, they had their own life too.
yeah.
I only knew them from whenever they've,
Yeah, you have to understand the trauma and the stuff that they went through too that kind of made them the way they are.
yeah.
And she's of that boomer generation, where they've been so programmed and they're just locked into their ways that, like, even talking to her about it, she was kind of like, yeah, that's just how it is. But I know why, now. And so that gives me some sort of peace. For a long time, I was mad, you know? It's a weird thing
You
to
have a
go through.
relationship with your dad now?
No, he passed away a long time ago, cancer. Uh, yeah, things were never really the same after. So I got in a DUI when I was in high school. I actually just had a permit, got a DUI.
In high school?
Yeah, oh yeah,
Damn, dude.
absolutely. I've always been an overachiever. And so
What school? High school did you go to?
North.
Okay, so
Yeah.
did you go to Standard?
Yeah, standard. I went to Wingland, standard, and then
Oh
North.
yeah, so we've been knowing each other our whole
Mhm.
lives. Okay,
Mhm.
so that's what I was trying to say. Like, I don't where do we actually
We've
meet, but
just
we
always
yeah, we've just always kind of been, and we didn't really hang out with. You play basketball
No, I
back
played
then?
football.
Football?
And I actually only went to school at North until my I
Did you
finished.
skate? You didn't skate.
Yeah, I
Did
skated, but
you?
not in high school. I started playing football real heavily. I mean, I always played football, but in high school it gets a little more serious and you just don't do other stuff.
Yeah, skaters and football dorks don't hang
Yeah.
out.
And that's why we never fit in like the hardcore metal scene, my group. We were the ones that would show up in white t-shirts. You know what I mean? When like everyone's wearing black or like a colorful Hurley shirt. So like we kind of had a target on our back.
Dude, I miss the hardcore scene
Me too.
so much.
Me and my wife went to see Norma Jean not too long ago, and seeing them mosh and stuff, I was like, "Damn, I want to do it," but then I'm no, I'm too
Dude,
shut out
I
now.
need to get hit in the face
I know.
so bad. Like, I need a hate breed show more than anything
Mhm.
right now.
Yep, music was everything, dude. That was definitely an outlet for me, and I never. Everybody would
Did you
always
play
be.
anything?
No, no.
You just being there.
Yeah, I just loved it, man.
Fans are just as important as
It
the
was,
people playing.
yeah, it was just an outlet for sure to get some of that anger out. I probably had no clue what it
Who
was
you
doing.
listening to right now?
Norma Jean is 100% my
Really?
favorite band.
Still?
Still, dude. I mean, they're
Damn.
one of the best metal bands.
Are they still around?
Yes, and the stuff they're putting out now is some of the best stuff out
Really?
there. They
I'm
are
gonna have to
so.
check it
Oh
out.
yes. Oh yes. Absolutely.
I haven't heard that Norma Jean in
Yeah,
a
dude.
long time.
They're one of those bands. They have a revolving lineup of people, so it's not even really the same people, but the group that they've had the last two albums are just
Are they
top
more?
tier.
Are they still doing? Or is it a lot of music, like guitar stuff, or is it a lot of?
Um, I guess I would classify it as like maybe like metalcore. I don't know.
A
There
lot of
it's
breakdowns.
there's a lot of range to it, and I think that's what draws me to it. They can go from there's some slow songs that hit so hard, and then there's some heavy stuff that just gets you going.
Dude, there's some good bands coming out right now out of Bakersfield and
That's
Tehachapi right
cool.
now. It's freaking sick and it's like guys our age. It's like
Hmm.
it's
I
so
love it.
sweet.
I love it.
uh, so, I'm not really sure what to go from here because we keep skipping around. That's
Yeah.
usually what happens on this show. It's
Could be tough.
we do you have brothers and sisters?
I have a sister. She's 14 years older than me, so I was definitely an accident. We're we're blood too, like same mom, same dad. We don't really have any relationship or connection at all because of that. She moved away from home when she was 16 to Utah. My mom, right during that time, I believe my mom was in the hospital with cancer, and my dad was in legal problems. And my sister tells me some stories we've talked about, and where we lived in her Volkswagen Bug for a little bit. And
What?
yeah, I,
Wait, hold on. I have 3 bugs outside. I can't sit in them comfortably.
no, yeah, I vividly
You
remember.
lived
I remember sleeping in them for sure, and like the the perforated rear seats sticking to me like crazy,
Oh
and
my god.
uh, but yeah, she things were not easy for her for sure. She was just a teenager clashing with my mother, who was, like I said, a pretty hard nosed mom. Uh, so she bailed, and when she was like 16, and I would have been 2, so uh, she's met my daughter. We met up in Vegas. She lives in Utah, so Vegas is kind of the halfway point. We met up there a couple years
You
ago.
guys talk often?
No, no.
Do you wish you had more of a relationship with her?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, who wouldn't? Like I said, I never really had any family. I thought my friends were my family for a long time. But you start to create your own. You realize what a family is.
What would you call family?
Just my wife and my kids. That's it. That's all I really need. It's all I was ever looking for. I think she really helped me pull my head out of my ass. I think how we got my first welding truck was a big deal with her. I had this. It was paid off like a Ford F-250. It's like a 2008, and it's all beat up, nothing fancy. And
Sick.
I sold it to her. She got a loan from the bank, sold it to her, and then I kept the truck. And with the money that we got from the fake loan,
Hold on.
we bought our first welding truck. We had to play the system a little bit to get ahead. That's
You
how.
signed the waiver. I'm posting it.
Yeah, no, for sure. I don't give a shit. I think the statute of limitations ran out on that a long time ago. But yeah, that's what we did. So we went to the bank together. We pretend like we didn't know each other, and she told the bank that she owned a cleaning company.
Oh my god.
And so
dude.
they gave her a loan to buy the truck from me for the cleaning company. And then we took that money and we bought a little beat up welding truck. And
They have a welder on it already, or
yeah, it had a welder on it.
no way?
Back then you could get something like that for 9-10 grand. Nowadays, good luck. And so yeah, we turned that little truck into what we have now. And my wife's been amazing too. She's really excelled in her career. When we first got together, she was a waitress, and she had 3 different waitressing jobs. So there was signs
Damn.
that she was a hustler. You know what I mean? And yeah, and it was so I mean then yeah, she does like ag investments now. Works for ag investment company.
Oh, she's a baller.
Oh, she's a badass dude. She really came from.
Your welding truck is just stick welder, like welding, like
No, I can do TIG, spool gun, all that stuff.
all off your truck.
Yeah.
How? Running off your welder?
Yeah, running off my engine driven machine. So I have like a suitcase where I could do wire feed. I have a TIG set up, like DC TIG, not AC TIG.
So you have because like I've been in my mind. I don't mean to, I'm just sidebarring real quick. I have all those I want to run all my stuff because I want to take it all with me to wherever
Hmm.
I go, but I can't find a generator powerful enough to run any of those
Yeah, I have a
machines.
Miller Big Blue 400 Pro, one of those newer ones. So it's a big diesel machine, but really you can kind of get away with it for anything like that. A lot of these new like like your Everlast that you have in the garage, that thing's an inverter based machine. So like you can plug that straight into the 240 or whatever it is, 220 on the front of that, like an engine driven welding machine, and it'll run just fine.
Really?
Yeah, the thing you got to worry about is what's called like I believe it's called pure sine wave, and that's basically the power that's delivered from the generator is more constant and there's no dips. And so a lot of these smaller, they call them throwaway machines like Miller Trailblazers,
Yeah.
Lincoln Rangers, they
Yeah.
have a small Kohler gasoline engine,
Yeah.
and the RPMs can vary a lot.
Hmm.
So you end up with inconsistent power.
Yeah.
The benefit of a diesel machine is that it runs much lower RPMs. It's much more consistent.
Really?
Yeah, turning out constant good power.
That's freaking good information.
Yeah, I've never had any formal training or anything like that, dude. I it's all been self taught. Uh, I've always been obsessed with processes and figuring things out, just like the bass fishing or the airbrushing or the welding, and really just anything I've ever done. It's always been a quest to just figure it out. There's been times where there's stuff I've gotten into, or I get to a certain point where it's like, hey, I figured it out, and I just throw it away. Yeah, I lose all interest because it wasn't it wasn't the end result. It was figuring out the
The
process.
learning. The
Yeah,
learning.
yeah, the custom painting and stuff, that's really been fun. There's one on my Instagram where I painted a Harley tank, and that was really fun, dude. I mean, just to figure out how the layering of colors, the processes, and all that different kind of stuff. It's super fun. I don't do it enough because I have to set up. I have to pretty much clean the shop and set everything up, and it's kind of a pain in the ass. So I don't do it as much. If you scroll down a little bit, there's a pretty cool tank I painted
I have an airbrush out there, but I haven't had the time to sit down and try to learn.
right there. Yes,
Damn.
so I painted that. That was actually the second thing I've ever painted.
Was it a customer or something you just
No,
wanted to do?
I found the tank on Facebook Marketplace, and I kind of seen something online, I guess, and I was like, "Hey, that looks cool. That looks like I can do it." And yeah, they're just making like stencils, and that's all just tape and stuff. So you first spray like metal flake down, and then you do all that stuff with tape work, all those lines and stuff. That's just lace. That's a stencil I made. The little fan is just tape. Super fun. It's definitely like one of those things that's super challenging
You're
but
gonna get me in
rewarding.
trouble, dude. You're just giving away trade secrets this whole episode.
Ah, it's cool. It's cool, man.
It is cool. I think that more people should get into creation.
Oh yeah, dude. The big thing about the boat was I've built so much stuff in my life, and I never got to keep any of it. It was always for somebody else.
Yeah, yeah.
And the heart and some of the stuff you build, you get it's a part of you. You know. That's why I think welding is so personal. It creates a lot of beef, a lot of animosity between welders and stuff when they're clashing or working
It
together.
really does, dude.
Yeah, and it's not because of anything else. I think that it's solely because it's so personal. A little bit of you, like I've been told by some people, like, hey, I can tell when you make something. Like when you build something, I can tell that you built that. Versus other people. It's
Yeah.
You get a lot of pride from it, but it's not that I'm special. It's just that a little bit of you goes into each part of it. You know what I mean? Blood, sweat, and tears. And so the boat thing was really cool to build that boat. Um, the
Oh,
whole
and you said you were gonna give it away.
yeah. So
Sorry, I know you said you wanted to keep.
yeah. It's the only reason I want to keep it a little low key, or was trying to keep it a little
Sorry,
low
my
key,
bad.
is because I don't want
I don't have that
it
many
to be. I
followers.
don't want it to turn into like a contest,
Yeah.
like who can win this boat, and I don't want anybody to think I'm doing it for clout. The main reason I did it, like I said, I started the boat
The only
building.
reason I bring it up is I think it's really cool.
Yeah, thank you. Um, the main reason behind the boat was, like I said, I like a small vessel. It's really I can hide it away from the fish. It's just a little blip on the radar. Um, I don't care if I beat it up on rocks like a big nice fiberglass boat. It's really stealthy. But here, when my kids get a little bigger and they're ready to get on the boat, that thing's not big enough for them, and so they won't need it. And the plan is to find somebody that was in a similar position as me when I was a kid, and give it to them, you know.
As a way to get away.
Yeah, as just an outlet, or like I already have somebody in mind. I see this dude. We chat every now and then. He's a younger guy, and he's out there all the time. So I mean, there's no questioning his passion for the sport, And if the dude had something to get off the bank, I think it would, you know,
Really?
yeah. So I'm just kind of keeping my eye out, and when the time comes, I'm gonna keep it low key and be
That's
like,
so cool.
"Hey, pull up. I got something for you."
That's so badass.
Yeah, and it's not. I mean, sure, I'll take the karma. I'll take the karma, but it's for no other reason, just to give back, dude. I've done so much. I've been able to do whatever I've ever set my mind on, and I just know that if I was a kid or a young adult with something like that, oh god, it would have changed so much for me. You know what I mean? It would have maybe pushed it along faster or opened new avenues, or who knows? So.
I always tell people if I got rich, I'd open a bike factory and I just give away free
Oh, that'd be
bikes
the shit.
just to everybody, dude. Just
Mhm.
so all these kids just have a way to just go get out of here.
Even when I'm out there, unfortunately nowadays, there's this thing out there that's like this bass boat personality, I call it. And it's like all these guys in these bass boats. There's these bass boats nowadays cost $130,000.
Yeah.
And they
They're
drive them like
pretty boats.
they're beautiful, they're fast, they're amazing, but they drive them like assholes. They have no regard for other people. They'll pull up right in front of somebody fishing on the bank with their kids. They'll cut people off. They drive like assholes, and it's just, if I was a young kid and I seen these people acting like that on the bank,
You
while
might not want to
I
ever
would have
do
probably,
it.
yeah, I probably would have quit.
Yeah.
I probably would have said, I'm not one of
I don't
those
want to be
guys.
part of that.
Yeah, I don't want to be part of that. And so my whole thing is like, I think it's cooler that when somebody sees me holding a giant bass from a little tiny aluminum boat,
Aluminum boat.
it looks like they can do it too. Because the truth is that anybody can.
Aluminum's sick, bro.
I love it. I love it. I mean, a fiberglass boat rides a lot better in the water. It's a little more of a chill ride. It's not as jarring.
Because it's thick and it's
yeah,
like
it's just heavy. It really is all it is. It's just heavy, and so it fights back a little more than an aluminum boat.
Yeah,
And,
but don't sound the same. None of that. And it's not pretty.
no,
It's not pretty. It's
yeah.
itchy.
So I mean, I kind of think that, like, even when I'm out there, I oftentimes I buy a lot of stuff just to give away. So like, there's a multiple of these fish. Like, there's a one that was 9 pound 11 ounce fish that I caught, and these two young kids in an aluminum boat watched me catch it, and they were tripping. They'd been kind of close to me, and I'd kind of seen them, and they hadn't caught nothing. And they seen me catch this thing, and I was like, "Hey, you guys want to check it out?" And they're like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah." So I cruise over there and I show them. They're like, "Wow, we've never seen one that big." So like, I was already prepared. I gave them all the different stuff I was using, told them how to use it. I think it's more important to be like a good steward of the sport and kind of show that, there's still good people out there. Just pass it along, because I remember when I was a kid, there was old dudes chucking me lures from their boats. You know what I mean? And that was like the coolest thing in the world. So like, I just keep on that tradition. And the style of fishing I do is really a dying breed of fishermen. I'm a trophy bass angler, and nowadays it's all about tournament bass angling. And so
I was going to ask you why you don't do tournaments.
I've done a few of them. For me, it's all about trying to catch the biggest bass possible because they're harder to catch. To me, the ultimate measure of an angler is
What's an angler?
just a fisherman.
Okay.
They just
Why do
call
they
it,
call it?
I have no clue, but you call him an angler. And the ultimate measure of an angler is really consistently catching bigger than average fish because they're extremely harder to catch than a small fish. So it's more been about pushing my skill set than competing against anybody else ever.
Anglers.
Yeah.
Specifically, someone who fishes using a hook and line, usually with a rod and reel. Okay. What other fishing is that? Net fishing?
Yeah, there's all different types of fishing like that. I mean, there's like snagging, there's fucking
Old
netting.
English angel meaning fish hook. Angel meaning fish hook. So it's just angling originally.
Yeah, so nets, traps, long lines, etc.
Huh. Interesting. Recreational or sport hook. Okay, that says a lot.
Yeah, to
So
me,
you're not fishing for.
numbers, no,
You're
no.
fishing
I'm trying
for
to
sport.
every single time that I'm out there, I'm trying to
Not even
catch.
sport. It's just
It's a weird thing. It's a
entertainment. What I
not
mean,
even that. It's I don't. It's not entertaining. It's and oftentimes
it's
it's
almost like just communication. Like not even or like what
camaraderie.
yeah, you're just
Uh,
hanging out with the fish
I don't
and the
know.
birds, the
It's more
nature.
of like a puzzle at this point for me. So like you
I
figure,
think it's more like a math problem to you.
oh yeah, it's you can break it down
The way
literally
that you
scientifically.
explained how you trap these damn things, I'm like
Mhm.
about to go get a loudspeaker and be like, run.
Yeah, there's some photos I sent where I was talking how I use satellite images a lot. I actually use satellite images more than I use sonar. So I sent them to you in the messages
Oh,
on
Instagram.
Instagram. Yeah, and I use satellite images a lot, and they have this feature called historical view where you can like scroll back. So like all this area is usually covered in water,
All the way up
all the way up to
to
here
the yeah.
to this tree line. So like if I was a big bass, I'd probably be tucked right up against that where that shadow is.
Yeah.
And so if I'm gonna be fishing,
So if it's here, you know exactly where they're gonna be.
yeah. So if I pull up and the water's up to here,
Yeah.
and in my mind I'm fishing for this one spot right there.
Yeah.
And it's crazy, but I've actually never caught a fish on like the second or third cast.
You're a cheater, bro.
It's always lining it up on the one.
That's
gotta do what you got-
so crazy.
or
Oh,
like-
there's two different pictures
Yeah,
here.
yeah. So right here,
So that's the next one. So let's look at the first one.
yeah. So like obviously the water is right here on the shoreline. The
Yeah.
shoreline's way up here, but like a
These
bigger
rocks
bass,
here.
yes, they're going to be tucked up here. And what's going to happen is that they're going to be hanging out right here. I'm going to have my boat set up here. I'm going to cast this way. When they notice that lure swimming this way, it's now getting ran up to the bank, and they can push it up and grab it. It makes it really easy for them. It's all about.
It's almost you're cheating.
It's not
You're cheating.
I mean, that's putting it together in the most advanced way you can.
It's crazy.
That's how I catch these fish, dude. It's not
Oh,
luck.
dude.
It's not it's all the work. And
yeah.
So like I took this screenshot right here.
Yeah.
So like this is a pretty barren spot.
Listening to Tucker.
This is a pretty barren spot. But like here's two key points where a big bass would sit on.
Mm-hmm.
And all they're doing is hanging out here,
Just
waiting for
hiding
something
spots.
to swim up close to the bank, and then they can rush up and push it up against the bank, trap it, because they're not very fast compared to the prey.
Because they have to. That's why they suck it in.
Yeah. So I mean, the trout can outrun them in open water; they'll never catch them. And like
So wild.
that's how the boat started.
You gotta teach me about fishing, bro.
Oh, there's so much. I'm still learning, dude.
You got a forklift? Oh.
Yeah, so that's how the boat started, and this is a Gregor boat. It's kind of cool. They were actually manufactured in Fresno. A small family owned the company, and they're no longer around. Unfortunately, their shop burnt down because of a homeless encampment fire, and it destroyed all the dyes that they stamp all this aluminum with.
What was their name?
Gregor
Boat Co.
Gregor boat. Yeah, just Gregor boats, I guess, is what they were called. But these boats are really cool. They're a unique design. They do well against big waves. So we get lots of wind here in the Central Valley. So we end up with really wavy, sketchy lakes. And this thing really cuts through the water. And they're readily available on the West Coast because they were just right here in Fresno.
Did you weld to it or did you rivet to it?
Yeah, it's welded to it and riveted to it. Yeah. So like all along the sides where I didn't want any deformation or nothing like that, it's riveted.
Mm-hmm.
And then all on like the interior structure is all. You can there's another photo where I sent you where it's got more of the skeletonized structure. Yeah, like right here. Yeah, so you see that's like an angle that's bent and riveted all to the side, and then I have tubing and channel connecting it all together. That's the live well, like fuel tank, obviously.
Whenever you were building it, how did you like weight wise, what were you how were you
That's
figuring
the
that
main
stuff
thing.
out?
Yes, that's the main thing. So if you notice all these blue tags on here, that says the weight. So that fuel tank full is 36 pounds. This battery, this is a 12-volt battery. That's 12.4
pounds.
Every single thing had a tag on it. I even went so far as to know what each piece of material weighed per foot, so I could know exactly the balance point of everything. That's the main thing. If I wouldn't have done that, this thing would have been sitting like
That's
this.
what I was saying.
Yeah,
But did you notice that it was like kind of wobbly? probably
No,
or
I just
anything
I've
afterwards?
owned enough boats, and I understand them well enough to where I knew right out the get go that balance is the main thing. So like I knew all the weight of all the different graphs and every single component on here. I weighed on my bathroom scale and then balanced it out on a sheet of paper and to figure out where the layout of every single thing was going to be. Even all my tackle that I bring, this section right here is all tackle. This next compartment is where the battery chargers are. There's circuit boards in there. There's a computer in there for the graphs. There's all types of wild shit. But I just weighed out everything, and it's just kind of the process I used for it. Super fun.
You gonna build more boats?
I'd like to. This particular thing took me 7 months to build.
I was gonna ask that. How
Yeah,
long?
it took me 7
That's not that
months.
long.
No, it's not. But it was like I pretty much had to quit fishing. So
And you're gonna give this fucking thing away.
yeah. That's the plan. I won't need it. My kid won't need it. It's not something I want to take care of. It's better off in somebody else's hands. I've already got what I wanted out of it. Like I said, I built this to really push myself to build the boat, finish the boat, launch the boat in the winter, and then before they got into spawning temperatures, which they become easier to catch during the spawn. So I just quit fishing, and then so I just if I could catch a double digit before then, like a lot of people.
You won't even fish if you know it's easy.
Yeah, I don't.
That's crazy.
No, it's because I'm out there just for me. I'd only be cheating myself.
And so why aren't you competing? I'm gonna keep that in. Yeah, I feel like a weight's been put on my shoulders.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
No, I don't think you need to be sorry,
No,
man.
people
Like,
go through stuff, dude, and it really kind of forges who they are. And if it wasn't for every single little thing that happened to me, who knows if I would have made it.
and this is the thing. That's why I started doing this. Is like I told you, I've been through churches and therapists and friends and family. And I've told these stories, and uh, it's like it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? But if it does matter to one
Yeah.
person, you know what I mean? And you might be that one person. You might have been. And like I said, if I had somebody just tell me, like, just keep going, don't even worry about it. Just
Yeah. You know, unfortunately, I had a lot of people that were kind of discouraging to me. Even my father, when it got to the point where I told him like I wasn't gonna be doing plumbing with him anymore, and that I was gonna be welding. You know, the stuff that he said to me was just terrible and really discouraging. Even I had one of my best friends at the time tell me that it was a shitty job and wasted time and all this stuff. And I mean, for me, it's who I was supposed to be. You know, there's nothing else I could ever do in this world that give me what I've got out of it. You know what I mean? The real sad part of it all is the way that things have shook out and the cost of things and the equipment and stuff. I get so many phone calls from young kids that are looking to be apprentices, and I would just give anything in the world to teach people what I know, but liability wise I can't do it, not
Yeah.
here in California. And I have to be brutally honest with those people, and I often tell people, I try not to be discouraging, but I tell them, hey, you're better off being an electrician because you can make the same amount of money with a tool belt versus 150 grand in a truck. And it's just unfortunate, you know, but it's the truth, you know, it's
I
almost like a
do.
dying art.
I say this all the time to everybody that I know. Every man, I believe, needs to learn how to weld. But not only because like it's not for work or anything, but 90% of the tools you need can be eliminated with a welder. You can make a tool, you can fix anything in your house, you can fix not only that, but you learn so much more about life and like the respect of like safety is it teaches you immediately like you don't want to cause a fire. You don't want
You don't
so many different things.
set myself on fire, as I'm sure you have. I've been
You
shocked by a
blind yourself.
machine.
Oh, dude, I get shocked. Oh my god, my gloves get sweaty. It's the worst,
You hear it.
You throw everything, you break a cup, and then you're like in a whole different. You're like, gosh damn
The
it.
worst thing is getting shocked by an engine-driven welding machine because they rev up. And dude, it hurts worse. I got shocked and heart flat one time. I was building an indoor roping arena for this guy, and it snowed, so my boots were wet, but it was melting. It was hot outside, so I took my jacket off, and I guess I had a big armpit stain. I laid my armpit over the pipe and struck an arc, and I just came to on the ground.
Really?
Yeah, it was that bad, and it huge blister in my armpit.
Did you? Oh, I was going to ask you.
Yeah,
Feel it in
yeah,
your
and
armpit?
the guy that I was working with at the time come around the corner. And he's like, "Dude, I heard that machine rev up. What the hell happened to you?" And I'm like, "I don't even know." You know?
Yeah, I've only been shocked by TIG welders.
Yeah, or having headphones in while AC welding is a good way to get really good shock in your head.
I was working on this. What are those? They call them headache racks. I
Yeah,
think
oh, yeah.
something behind the cab of a diesel.
Mm-hmm.
But it was aluminum. It was all enclosed, so it had like these doors, and it was dirty. So I just went in there with brake clean for days, right? I gave it like 15 minutes. I went to lunch or whatever, came back, thought it was good. I walked inside of it, and as soon as, dude, it like blew apart, blew the door open. Every hair on my body was gone. It stunk like hair throughout the whole shop, dude. Yeah, I don't miss that.
Yeah, I fix a lot of fuel tanks, and that can be a real crazy process. I've learned to just pump them full of argon, get all the oxygen out, and then they can't blow up, you know. But yeah, no matter what, like I fixed one time, and I told my wife, I called her. I was working at the back of my house. We have a security camera, and I said, "Hey, just check the camera in like 20 minutes," because I couldn't get all the fuel out of this one. It had a baffle in it, and it had like this weird second layer around it that had fuel trapped between the inner and outer layer of this tank. She's like, "Why?" I said, "Don't worry about it. Just check the camera in 20 minutes," because I thought maybe I might blow up, you know, like literally. So I wheeled it outside of the shop and I tigged it up, and she checked the camera, called me. She's like, "Everything okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, we're good."
We were cut back in my early stages. I have like porta bands that I use for everything, and my brother was holding it up one time. I'm cutting this plate, and we get through it, and I'm at the back, but the pressure of him pushing towards me, once I got through that plate, it cut right through my thumb.
Dude, they don't hesitate at all. I've done it too. I recently cut through the top of my middle finger and index finger this way with a razor blade.
Oh,
almost all.
Oh, I see it.
Yeah, dude, it was gnarly.
Yeah, I have 2 different sized thumbs.
Yeah, there's signs, man. I just went and got a bunch of tattoo work done, and my buddy Evan, dude, it was showing him all.
Yeah, you can shout him out.
Evan Crocker at Sanctuary Tattoo is the tat guy for sure. But just going through all the burn holes, and he's like, "Holy shit, that was a deep one." I'm like, "Yeah, do you feel it in the needle, like bogging down the scar tissue?"
So, besides fishing, besides family, besides building boats, what's your thing?
Oh man,
Do you believe in God now?
I do, dude.
What happened there?
Oh man, I just
When
feel
did
like
that start? Let's take a huge step back. Let's finish this
Dude,
last leg off good.
I had a crazy experience recently fishing, and
Fishing.
yeah, dude, yeah, and I think the reason why is the first time in my life I can ever remember praying
Hold on. Why didn't you believe in God?
because of what happened to me early in my life. I thought there's no way that a God would let somebody go through that. There's no way that if God was there for me, that he'd let me watch my only father figure die in front of me, that he'd put somebody in front of me that was on fire, you know? And so it really just, I lost the mystique of the human body almost. It was like we're really just a bag of flesh, and it could be destroyed in any moment. And I was just young and didn't understand that maybe all that stuff happens to you for a reason, you know?
Did you reject it? Like, or do you just
Yeah, it was pushed on me. My mom kind of pushed it on me briefly from, I would say, my early teens, maybe. and just the pressure of that kind of being a rebellious teenager, you know. And as I've gotten older, man, I've just realized so much different stuff and evolutionary things with animals and stuff. It's just crazy, just different stuff. And I just feel like there's no way that I did this on my own. You know, there's just no way. There's no way. And
So you were fishing.
yeah, so I was fishing, dude, and I never prayed. I don't know what made me do it. I guess he did. But I was tied up to the dock still, and I just finished the boat, and basically I took about a week off of work. I'm really lucky that the customers I've had, they've been stoked on my fishing just like I am. And so they're like, "Fuck yeah, dude, go get them." Like, you know, they believe in me. And my the service manager for this big company I'm working for now, he's all into it too, and he's like, "You can do it, dude. Like, go get that one." Like, he followed along through the boat build and everything, you know. So when I finished the boat, it took me a lot longer than I thought. So I really had about 7 days before the water temperature hit that spawn period. I had about 7 trips where I could go.
Bro, when you talk about fishing, my ear is so
I just know it. Yeah.
it's crazy. Temperatures and
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
nuts.
It deals a lot with the summer, like the solstice, the longer points in the day, because
Oh my
they
God.
ripen the eggs, the vitamin D from the sun. Yeah, dude. Oh yeah. I'm all the only now you know when you see me holding the big fish what it actually takes, dude.
It's crazy, dude.
Yeah, it is, dude. It is. It is. It's a straight sun. They're an amazing animal.
Keep going. I want to finish this story.
Okay, so
I'm sorry. I'm just blown away that you have this much knowledge about this
yeah,
shit. It's awesome.
yeah, it's cool.
Your life's gonna. I think you should focus on your fishing. Leave the metal stuff as a hobby.
I wish I could. Unfortunately, it's not very profitable.
Well, I mean,
I
you're
could
smart. You
I could
seem
figure
like
it out.
you know. Yeah, you can go compete now. I mean, you're giving secrets away.
It's not secrets, dude. It's just the truth. It's not like it's. I'm not a gatekeeper. I think it's lame.
Am I just retarded at this?
No,
Like,
no. It's just a lot of people think that, like, oh, it's some secret spot, or he knows the secret spot. No, it's really just it's a puzzle.
learning the
It's a puzzle, and you have to
animal.
learn each piece and how they connect.
Yeah,
And that's all. And that's
it's so cool.
it's such a it's comparable to anything else in life.
Yeah,
You put those pieces together, and anything else you're interested in,
Just
you can
find
do it to
something
the
to do it,
ultimate
yeah.
level, dude. It doesn't matter what you started with. It doesn't matter what you got. If you just put everything you know and really put it together, regardless of what you're after, you could do it. You know. But yeah, so the my first time praying was was I don't know what happened, dude. I like to get there, and oftentimes I leave my house at like 2 and 3 in the morning, and so I get there and it's pitch black, and I launch the boat. I'd taken it down on a couple test runs, you
where
know,
were you at?
Lake Isabella,
Badass. It's
which is a
windy,
very
probably.
is probably the most dangerous lake I think in the West Coast.
Was it windy whenever you?
Yes, it's always windy every afternoon. There's tons of underwater obstructions, and there's really no one out there to help you.
Nope.
There's nobody out there to help you.
And that sand that you see on this other side,
Mhm.
that's not sand. That's rocks.
It's a brutal lake, dude. It's a brutal lake. The fish are incredibly tough and smart there.
That's a special lake.
Oh
I'm
my gosh.
really interested to hear what you have because I have a story I'm going to tell you after this, but I wanted you to finish.
Oh, I've been to several lakes all around California and even Arizona. And the one
Are
thing
you
I
supposed
know,
to leave?
no, that's the alarm to pick up my daughter every day for school.
My bad.
For some reason, it's set on the weekends too. But
Sorry, dude. I'm so bad at getting off track.
it's all right.
First time you prayed, this is a big thing.
This is a big
I
thing,
need to
dude.
shut up.
And this was weird for me, dude. And it wasn't about I didn't pray to catch a fish. I just prayed to be safe out there. And it was I don't know if I really went out there.
Do you remember the prayer?
Not really, no. No, it was more just
And who were you praying to?
I don't know even. You know, I just for some reason something came over me, and it made me bow my head.
You bowed your head.
Yeah, dude.
Were you in your truck? Were you
No, I
outside?
was sitting in my boat, and it was literally the seconds before I untied the rope from the dock. And I just said, you know, whatever happens, because I knew that I had about 7 days to accomplish my goal, 7 fishing trips. And I didn't know at the time it was 7. I knew it was going to be few short amount of days before it hit the temperatures to where they were going to be locked on beds and they were going to be too easy for me to catch. And so I guess I just said this prayer that was like, just let me be safe and make smart decisions. And something clicked, dude. And ever since that day, dude, I've been out there and it's been like this weird calmness. And I've been able to have a different level of focus, even. And that's really the results you see because of that. I think it's just been a level of peace that came over me. And I don't even know what made me do it, dude. I wasn't scared, you know. I built the boat by hand. I knew what it was capable of. I knew it was strong. I knew it was safe. The whole thing's packed full of foam to where it can't even sink. It could be full of water and it's just going to sit level with the rail will sit level with the lake. And so I just
Do you think you were actually thanking God?
maybe
Like just acknowledging like what the hell is
yeah.
this? Like I couldn't have done this. Like just like you said, I couldn't have done
I
this.
couldn't have done it alone. Yeah, there's been so many things that happened in my life where it's just like, dude, no way.
There's no way I have this knowledge.
Mm-mm.
Something gave this to me.
Something led me this way.
Yeah.
And yeah, dude, I think it was the first time I prayed and it gave me like a open mind that I'd never had before. And ever since then, it's changed. And I've been going to church and stuff. And it's weird because, you know, it's like I said, it's hard for me to focus and lock in on things.
Mm-hmm.
But I go there, dude, and it's over.
Can
Before
I
I know it, I just wanted to keep going. And I want to know more.
I'm curious because I feel kind of similar, but I say all the time, like people, like if they ask me if I believe in God, like yeah, I believe in God, but no, I don't believe in God because I know that something is there watching over me. I don't know what it is.
Mm-hmm.
I know that there's power in the name of Jesus.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
I just know that that's all I know. I don't know that there's a right way or a wrong way. I don't know who has the secrets. I just know that not even that name, just that whatever that is.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much power behind it that it does change your life, and
Oh, for sure.
it changes the direction of your mindset, the way you treat people, the way you feel about you start feeling bad about the bad things you've been through
Absolutely.
because of what other people feel.
Mm-hmm. A whole nother level of consideration, I would call it, you know, of other people's feelings. It's just a better way to live, dude. The way I was living for all these years was just not sustainable. I was in all my successes, there was so much misery, you know. No matter what I accomplished, I
It's
was
just
missing
in vain,
something.
like it didn't mean anything.
Yeah, it meant nothing. It was
art. Art's like the most important thing in the world. Art and
just being able to express yourself with it, you know. Yeah, it's been
the freedom to be free, the freedom to just be what you are.
Yeah, and like I was telling you earlier, like I've had this feeling to where it's gave me such peace that I no longer care about what anybody thinks. I'm always going to be honest and truthful, uh, and it's given me just peace. Is all I can really say. It's weird, and I kind of didn't want to talk about it if it came up in this because I feel like I don't know enough about it. I'm still trying to figure it out, you know. But what I've learned so far and what it's given me so far is insane. Insane. I feel
What do you
like
mean?
like I don't know, man. It's just the tension I've always felt in myself, the anxiety and stuff like that I've always dealt with. Uh, it seems to be fading away, and I'm not doing anything other than being more open minded. You know?
Are you still praying?
Yeah, yeah. Um,
Do you think that has something to do with it?
yeah, I do. The fishing thing was almost can only be really described as an epiphany.
Have you ever read anything about the Bible?
I've been lately.
Bro, half that Bible is about fishers.
Yeah.
Is about fishing for men. Is about saving people who didn't know they had a chance in life. They didn't know that you didn't have to be what you were dealt. You
Hmm.
could change your life
Oh, for sure.
if you weld it. If you just ask somebody, "Hey, can you teach me how to weld?" I'll teach anybody how to weld.
Me
I'll
too.
say that right here, right now. You ask me to teach you,
Same here. Though.
I'll to tell you right now. You could go anywhere and get a job
Hmm.
after an hour with me. So
Yeah,
I'm gonna. I'm more
that's an
than
open
willing to do that.
invitation for me as well. I mean, what it gave me, I could never repay. You know, so
Yes, you can't. You can't. It's
no,
art.
no. I think the worst thing you could ever be is a
It's
gatekeeper.
security. It's safe. Yeah, yeah, you're exactly right. And let's talk about that.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys that are, you know,
There's a that's a community in the fabrication scene
hmm
where if you don't have a plasma, you're not good enough. If you don't have a
hmm
laser, you're not good enough. But if you have a grinder, you're you're on the same level if you have a heart, because if you go in there and you go and cut this stuff, you can do just as good, if not
hmm
better than they can.
everything that I do is by hand.
And not only that, but the real dogs see the imperfections. It's like tattoos. Let's
Hmm.
talk about that tattoo that you have that you don't want your apprentice to fix. You like those imperfections. It's
Absolutely.
craftsmanship.
Hmm.
And we talked about that with wood. You have one cut. If that wood's cut wrong, you're going to see it,
Hmm.
but it's going to become part of your life.
Hmm.
Scars aren't bad.
No,
That's part of your story. That's part of your.
absolutely. That's what I mean by like every single unfortunate thing that may have happened to me. I'm so thankful for, you know, because maybe I would have been more jaded or less less thankful. I don't know. Just seeing and all the different things that I've been through. I mean, I'm so thankful for every one of it. I think there's certain like maybe looking back now, maybe God put me in that position to open that guy's door and hit him with that water hose to give him a little bit of relief. You know, and I saved a life in the river one time, and those are really weird.
Tell that story.
Uh,
Please.
it
If
was
you, if,
super.
I'm not trying to. You've already been through a
Yeah, no,
bunch of
no.
doing
This
this.
is
So I don't.
this one is totally cool. Yeah, I was with a whole group of friends, and we had been tubing on the river, and we're at the spot at Hart Park where everybody gets out and you get in your car and you head back up to the top to go, retrieve the vehicle. And we were the very last car. There was nobody else there. And for whatever reason, we were all just kind of hanging out by the car. There was a group of girls and a group of us guys. And out of nowhere, we hear this rustling in the bushes, and it was these two old men. They come through this thorn bush, dude, and they're just covered in blood and scratches because they literally climbed through the gnarliest looking thorn bush. And they were so out of breath that they couldn't really get out what was happening. And he just said, "My granddaughter." And so I took off running, and it was about 100 yards up the river to where the next clearing was to where you could get in the river. And me and my buddy Nathan Wells, uh, we ran up there, and I looked through the opening, and there's a big tree in the middle of the river, and the river was really high at this time. And this little girl, she was about 7 or 8 years old. She was stuck in the tree, and she was holding on to the limb. So I just dove in head first without thinking, and I swam, and I got about 10, 15 feet from her, dude, and she just let go. She gave up. And the tree was laid over in the river. And so she just got pushed like deep down into this tree. And so I just caught my breath and swam down into the tree. And what felt like forever, I just felt a mat of hair. And I grabbed the hair and I got to the surface and I threw her on my back. And the first thing that she did was put me in a rear naked chokehold. The very first thing, like as soon as my head popped up and I went to gasp for breath,
Hell, I'm trying to help you.
full on rear naked choke. She's just scared. And
Yeah.
so there's nowhere to get out right there.
So scary.
So I just was swimming and I could feel myself passing out. And I just
Cause she choking you.
yes, and dude, her arm was like the smallest little.
She's so sad.
Yeah, she's so scared, and I was about to pass out, and I never forget, dude. mere feet from losing consciousness, and I made it to the bank, and I just laid on my face, and she got off, and everybody was like cheering and stuff, and I was so angry because I almost died, and she
Nobody
almost
else did
died.
anything.
No, Nathan jumped in right behind me, and he was swimming right behind me. He was right behind
You've
me.
mentioned this kid a couple times. I'm sure he's not a kid anymore.
Just one of the homies.
Will you link me up with him as well?
Yeah. Yeah, he was right behind me. Nobody hesitated, you know what I mean? We just, one of those things where it's just fight or flight. You just go for it. And
Hold on. Well, I want to stop because you've done this a couple times. You've mentioned this ability, this inability to mind your own business.
no, if someone's in trouble, no way.
Yeah, I have that same problem.
Mm-hmm.
I've been stabbed in the face, stabbed in the back. I've been jumped because I can't
Mm-hmm.
not
Help.
What the hell is that?
I don't know. You see, there, you don't even have
Because
to
I
do a
don't
thing.
want it. I don't want it.
The last thing
I
you
don't
want is to put yourself in a bad position.
I don't want to, because they're never going to help me.
Mm-hmm.
None of these people are going to would ever think about me.
Mm-hmm.
Why are we so prone to do that? What the hell is? Because I really don't know.
Honestly, I think it's just an alpha male personality trait. It's just something that when you've done it, you've I don't know. It's just an alpha male trait. I've never been one to sit
just
on the
because you
sidelines.
know better. Like it's just like you just like it's like a dog. Like stop.
And to be
it.
honest with you, at the time, my life was not worth as much as that little girl's.
That's crazy. That's probably exactly what it is.
No.
We don't matter. They
No,
do.
I didn't. No, I wasn't living a good life. I was an absolute mess. I was a drunk, sloppy idiot. And my life was not as valuable as hers. And I think about her all the time. I think that I hope she remembers what happened. I hope that she learned from what happened. I remember my friends were stopping me from beating up these old men because I was so mad at them. And they were from out of town, of course, and they were on a pool raft, like a long, skinny sunbathing raft.
Yeah.
In the river. You know, you're not supposed to
Yeah.
be in there like that. And no life jackets, and they were totally alone. And those guys weren't in a position to help. And it's just something that you just react to and you ask questions later.
Yeah. It's wild. I think there's a lot of people out there that feel like us that don't understand what the hell's going on, and
It's good. The world needs more people like that. Not afraid to do the right thing regardless of what.
I'm afraid.
No, don't get me wrong. I was scared too.
I'm not. When I do these things, I'm not thinking.
Mm-hmm. No, you don't.
You know, like I just don't like what I see, and I'm like, how do you stop this?
Mm-hmm.
Stop. I don't. It's almost like a fear of trauma.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like I don't want to experience this, so I'm going to try to stop it.
Yeah, that could have been what it was, but it was an intense experience. It was cool. Everybody's cheering, and she's okay, and the guys, the men that were there, they were just bawling, and it was just one hell of an experience. But I think that that's what it was, is that I knew something new, that it was worth the risk.
You think it was a connection with God that you did?
Could have been. Very well could have been. Something comes over you like that where you're just like totally not in control.
You think God had your back even when you didn't believe it?
I think maybe. It's great. I never even thought of that, but maybe.
It's dope.
It is, dude. I'm proud of it, you know, and it's not like I'm not trying to flex or come off a certain way, because again, I want to reiterate, I really don't give a shit how I look at this point in my life. But it's just the truth.
I remember you being a lot redder than you used to be.
Yeah, dude. Actually,
that's
why that explains these tattoos, dude. The first thing I did when I was 18, I was so self-conscious about my skin color that the first thing I did was make them colorful. Literally, that's how this sleeve is 20 years old. Before I was 19, had this whole arm sleeved and my legs, and yeah, it's just to feel comfortable in my own skin. And to be honest with you, now if I knew that like if I went into a Starbucks and the barista wanted to compare her fine line sleeve with my shit, I probably wouldn't have got them covered up. It's kind of cooler to not have tattoos.
Nobody says better
Oh,
tattoos than a
oh
barista.
gosh, dude. She got like
Fine line
got like
one-liners.
14 minutes worth of tattoo work on their arm, and they're like, "Yeah, that spot's pretty painful, huh?"
Look at my umbrella.
Like these arms have been gone. This will be the third time I've done this sleeve.
Dude, I've already done this hand like 3 or 4 times. Even my side of
Welding.
my damn head keeps
Welding.
fading out.
I
I'm
remember-
done with it.
I remember seeing you at a show when you first got your head done and being like, "Fuck yeah!" dude." And you know what another funny story is, and I remembered, is this is when I was really on a bender. I remember coming to at a tattoo shop downtown, standing next to you. I was blackout drunk, and I came to standing next to you in this tattoo shop downtown. And there's all these tattoo artists, and we're talking. And my first thought was, "Oh my god, did I just get something tattooed on me?" And I started like casually trying to look around at myself to see if I was totally blackout drunk, and I came to, and I was. Do you remember that at all?
Bro, back then I was heavily on pills. The doctors were giving me
Yeah.
it didn't even matter. I didn't even have to ask. They're just like, "Oh, does your stomach hurt?
Dude.
Here's some Xanax."
Crooked
And I'm
doctors,
like,
man.
and I didn't know it at the time. I had
Mhm.
no idea that. I'm like, "Man, screw you. The doctor gave it to me. It's fine."
Yeah.
I didn't know that I was a drug addict.
Dude, the crooked doctors, man, I watched them destroy.
I'm so lucky to be alive, dude. All my friends are dead from the pills, and I don't even understand.
My best friend.
I have like survivor's guilt.
Yes, I literally just had a conversation with somebody about this. That I definitely, my good friend Jesse, dude. I feel like I want to bring him into this. Is one of the most amazing dudes I've ever met in my life. I was really tight with his brother Alan, and as life progressed and high school progressed, me and Jesse really became insanely close. We just were like two peas in a pod for a long time. And he passed away from pills. And he was not a pill addict, dude. He was in the best shape of his life. He was huge, just chiseled out of freaking marble, man. This guy. And we all had this camping trip, and he didn't want to go on the camping trip because his girlfriend was going to San Diego State, and it was like their last weekend together. So all us dudes went on this camping trip, had a blast, and we're coming home Sunday, and he's leaving. We're coming home Sunday night, and he's leaving messages on my phone, trying to link up with all of us. He ended up hanging out with an unsavory character, and
A chick?
no guy, a friend of mine's older brother that really got my drug use started in an early age. He him and Jesse sat down at my buddy's house, and they popped a bottle of vodka, and David had 2 Dilaudid pills. And yeah, Jesse had never done it before, and
Best feeling on the planet, man.
I could imagine. They had licked the coating off of them, chopped them up, and snorted it. And when my buddy came out of his bedroom, he had to work in the morning. He walked right past the back of the couch, and he seen them sitting up still and the TV on. And he started talking shit to him. He said, "Oh, you guys are still up. What the hell are you doing?" And he went and hopped in the shower. And when he was walking back out of the shower is when he seen their faces. And Jesse was gone, and David was black and blue. And we got back home from the camping trip, and I got the phone call from my friend whose house it happened at. And he's calling me screaming, "Jesse's dead, Jesse's dead, Jesse's dead." Mind you, the other guy was his stepbrother. And, this other dude was kind of unsavory, kind of a bad influence. And my friend's main concern was Jesse was dead.
Yeah.
And so I don't even remember. My mom says that I woke up screaming. I ran out of the house without clothes on, and I drove to this apartment, and I watched them put Jesse in a body bag and zip it up.
How old were you?
20. And Jesse's mom was a school teacher, and so I drove to Jesse's house, and my friend Kevin lived with them at the time, so Kevin was there. And I walked in, and I told him, "Jesse's dead. Call Vicky right now. Tell her to come home." And she came home, opened the door, and we told her what happened. and it was one of the hardest things I've ever done in my life. And the weakest I ever felt as a man, not being able to like console her or stop the, you know, uh,
Why did you feel that was your
I
responsibility?
don't know, dude. I don't know. I don't know.
Why do you feel that now?
Just because it was, dude. Somebody had to, you know, somebody had to be there.
That same shit. You feel this need to
Mhm.
not let people hurt.
I wish I wouldn't have. I wish the last, pictures in my head, he had a wake and everything, and they did a really good job at the funeral home. But it's hard to not see him, you know, the way he was on the couch. And yeah, just pills, man. Crooked doctors and pills have destroyed so many lives,
Dude, so my pill guy, Joe's dead. I've mentioned him. He had this doctor. It was back when I was tattooing. And he would come in and Joe would hand him a bag of meth, and this doctor would just hand us basically
Mhm.
a prescription book.
There's so many crooked doctors.
And you could go to Rite Aid, you could go to a private pharmacy, you go to Costco. You have 3 different pharmacies. You cash in the same prescription. So these 190 pill prescriptions for Xanax, Norcos, and Somas,
Yeah.
you're getting them
To
3
to
times.
20-year-old kids.
I was selling them to sheriffs, bro.
Mhm.
They were giving me guns. They were just like, "Here, I won this. You want this?" And I'm like, "Sure. Here's." And I would just screw them. I would give them like half the pills that they asked for, and they wouldn't say shit because they needed it. Pills are the devil. Stop taking pills.
For sure. For sure. It gives you this feeling like because a doctor prescribed it
Yeah,
or because it's
it's
somehow
okay.
medically. No,
It's
dude.
drugs. That's why they call them
Some-
drugstores.
It's no
Wake the
different
fuck up.
than heroin or anything like that.
It's worse.
It is worse.
It's worse.
Because you could pop a bunch and it's just over.
Heroin addicts don't die. They die from the lack of heroin.
Yeah. Like the Dilaudid thing was a big deal because, like I said, dude, we're talking about a guy that was 6'4", probably 220 of straight up muscle, dude. This guy was the ultimate male physique, the healthiest you could possibly be, the strongest a human body could ever be. And one little pill took him out.
Yeah.
And it was his first time ever doing it.
It doesn't even take pills anymore. It takes, it's just.
When the cops cleared the scene, dude, they didn't even pick nothing up. The craziest part was that the vodka bottle had the lid off and it wasn't even necked. So one of them sucked the coating off the pills, chopped it up. There's 4 lines on the table. 2 of them are missing. 2 dead friends. You know, there's no chance. You don't have a chance with that shit, dude. Yeah, we can't really talk about
All right.
just because it's
What I wanted you to do, well, you said you wanted to. You wanted to get back into. I don't know if you want to get back into it, but you said when we were, I mean, it's all recorded still. You said something about the noise of, I don't, it's hard for me to listen to. It's going to be hard for you to say. And it's going to be hard for everybody else to hear too. But the sound of skin is what you said.
Yeah. Yeah, that's something that stuck with me.
And uh, I don't mean to stop you, but while you were saying that, you said that's something that I want to get back into, and I don't know where your thought was, where if it was about that or if it was something else, but that's what I remember,
Um,
and I'm okay not talking about that, but
it's hard to weave it back in. Yeah, so that the terrible burn incident with that guy. What stuck with me the most wasn't even the visual; it was the sounds. He was quiet. It's weird. But
He didn't scream.
no, no, he was. At least I don't remember him screaming. He was quiet, dude. But after he peeled all the plastic off himself, he continued to just keep peeling what he thought was plastic, but it was his skin. And he was slinging it on the ground, and the wet concrete that he was standing on, the sounds of it, of the skin, big pieces of it hitting the ground was just terrible, terrible sound that stuck with me for a long time. But I mean, trauma like that you experience in your life, it doesn't have to define your character. It doesn't have to define your path. You can use it as a building block, something to make you stronger, more resilient, more experienced, more prepared for something else that could possibly terribly happen. Uh, it's just something that definitely happened and messed me up for a long time, but you get past it and you learn to live with that kind of stuff. Like, for a long time, it almost felt like a dark cloud, kind of over the top of you, lingering. Any sort of weird noise could bring it up.
Ah,
And
I've had this thought in the back of my head. I've been refusing to bring it up, but I can't help myself. Do you remember smelling anything?
no, no, it was incredibly thick black smoke. Because what happened was the propane tank exploded and it took off like a rocket and it whistled so loud and it stuck to the balcony that was above him. And I imagined it just sprayed fire
flames
straight down and melted all that stuff. And he sprinted through there and
Just ran away.
yeah, it was like a wet blanket over the top of him, completely covering. And it was like,
So crazy.
I remember thinking, like, did I make the right decision, dude? Did I spray him with water and instantly freeze that stuff?
Do you feel this? See, and that's another thing I've been refusing to ask. But I mean, since we're here and we're this deep, do you feel responsible for him doing that because you know that the physics is that you froze the plastic?
Yeah. Well, what else would there have been to do other than slowly let it cool?
There's nothing that could have
No,
happened.
no.
He would have been in more pain. If anything, you relieved him of the pain, and he
It had to be some sort of relief. It had to be.
yeah, for sure, because otherwise he would have just stayed on burning.
Yeah, and then I would have been
But-
just standing in front of him watching.
Yeah,
It's
This
one of those
is-
things you don't think about. You just do, You just kind of do it.
that is a position that nobody has ever been in their entire
Maybe
lives.
it's
bro.
happened, but it's probably incredibly rare.
Gosh, damn it.
Yeah, but it definitely affected me. It made me really callous, dude. It
What do you mean?
like mean and like angry on the inside, and just kind of
Just because, like, why'd you show me this?
yeah. Like
why did I have to see this?
Yeah, why did I have to be the first one to fling the door open? Why did I, you know? But maybe I was there because I was making the right decisions.
You know, there's this scripture that says, God gives his toughest battles, whatever.
Yeah.
I get that, but I take it a step further. As cliche as it gets, I don't necessarily agree with it. The knowledge you gain from these terrible situations is so much more valuable in
For sure.
and it's a horrific feeling. It keeps you up at night.
Did for a long time.
It changes the way you treat people. But in a weird way, it's almost like a gift because you learn to appreciate life better and you treat people different. You treat them better. And I think it sucks
to go through it, but
it sucks. I don't even know how to process it or understand it, but like I do know that people who have been through the trenches are better people on the other side.
Maybe somebody else would have been there that couldn't have handled it as well,
Maybe you were stronger at that point.
yeah, maybe somebody else would have messed him up worse, or
You're still alive to tell his story.
yeah,
Well, I think we've talked more about him than we did about you.
yeah.
I don't know. I still haven't learned much about you. We're gonna have to do an
Yeah,
episode
we
too.
can do another episode for sure.
So I do this corny thing where I ask everybody to say something positive to a 16-year-old you, a younger you.
Mm.
What would you
Gosh.
tell him, and it's got to be positive, and it's for everybody, man. What would you say positive to the world right now?
To the 16-year-old troubled kid, I would say it gets better as long as you put your head down in the right place and set out on a good path and stick to it and don't let nothing pull you left or right. You just do the right thing for you, regardless of what, and don't listen to anybody that tries to tell you otherwise. Don't listen to the discouragement. Those people are afraid for their own reasons. Just just keep going. It gets better. It gets easier. You get smarter. You get tougher. You learn to live with the bad, appreciate the bad even, and all that stuff makes you appreciate the good even more. You know. So just yeah, if I would have been a 16-year-old kid and heard some of the stuff that was told to me by teachers and stuff, you're never going to be nothing if you don't graduate, if you don't go to college, all that stuff. I dropped out of school like 3 weeks into my junior year.
You did?
Yeah, yeah. I'd got a DUI right after I got my permit. And what happened was my family has a terrible name in the legal system here. And I went to court for it. And of course, they gave me like the maximum. And the first thing they said is, "You're one of those bad boy Willifords." And, and I was like, oh shit. Because my mom had warned me about this. And so I got this probation officer. And it actually wasn't a probation officer, it was the head of the probation department of Kern County. And he was overseeing my case. And basically, they did that to try to violate me.
We ain't gonna have none of this ginger kid stuff in here.
Exactly. they were I hate to say out to get me, but they weren't out to help me for sure. And that's not their job, but trying to make it worse was definitely on their agenda. And it came to a point where I was behind in school and I was missing school and they were fixing to violate.
Why were you missing school?
I was going to Vista West and
For fighting and stuff, or what?
yeah, just for all different sorts of shit. And the way that school operates is like no matter how good you are and that you get straight A's and you finish all your homework and you do all that stuff, the only way that you get credits is by attendance. And they don't openly tell you that. And it's the only school program where if you miss days, they can take credits away. You don't lose credits in any other program other than Vista West missing school.
That's interesting.
Yes. And so I started skipping school, ironically, for bass fishing. Me and my friend Kevin Hood, we would ditch school.
Oh, what up, Kevin?
What up, Kevin? We would ditch school and we would go bass fishing all the time.
How's he doing? He's still alive?
Yeah, I talk to him
All
every
right,
now
good.
and then. He's doing good. He's an electrician.
That's good to know.
We would ditch school and go fishing.
Kevin.
Yeah, and so all of a sudden I got pulled into the office and they were like, "Hey, there's no possible way that you're going to graduate. Your attendance, all this stuff." And the probation officer had really like started trying to violate me for this stuff and put me in juvenile hall. And basically they're still like if I was not enrolled in school, I didn't have to go to school.
Yeah.
And so if I unenrolled in school, basically dropped out, it freed them. They were no longer able to charge me for missing school, even back charging me for my attendance.
Yeah.
So I got to this point to where I wasn't going to graduate without like summer school or like a fifth year senior type of thing and my attendance and stuff. And it was just, I remember my mom had me in like an anger management therapy, and
You're skipping over so much.
well, no, this is all into it.
Why are you in anger management?
Because I was an angry kid, like I said. I mean, I had a lot of rage inside of me. I put up this front like the funny, happy comedian of the class, but it's not who I really was.
So hold on, let me just stop this whole thing. I think you know, and you're going to tell me you don't know, but why were you so angry?
I think all the trauma that happened to me at a young age
You think the
put a chip.
death,
Yeah,
the death,
my grandfather really was the main thing. That was my happy place.
who are
Was
you mad at? You're mad at God.
yeah, I was. Uh, I remember thinking, it's okay that he died, but why did I have to watch? You
I
know.
don't, maybe because he wanted you there.
hmm
Maybe you were his favorite little person, and that was his best way to die, is like looking into your eyes.
Yeah, that's like I said. I feel like the last moments of his life, we were connected eye to eye, and
You saw him dead before everybody did.
and then they were all trying to say that like, oh, he's gonna be okay. No, I watched it.
Because you were there, and that's fucking special, dude.
Mm-hmm.
That's special. That's something that nobody else has. That's something that you shared with him
Mm-hmm.
that nobody ever can understand.
He didn't seem scared. He was.
He's probably happy, like you said.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
That's
so
weird to
I was
listen.
real angry, and my mom had put me in this anger management class, or this therapist, and she gave me an IQ test on the down low, and told me the results and stuff, and told me, and at the time I was so scared because it was right when I was dropping out of school and everything. I was so scared, and every single teacher, every single adult figure told me basically, you're going to be a loser, you're going to do nothing with your life. This one lady told me, you're smart enough to where you're going to figure it out. And I was like, oh, wow, the first time somebody ever told me that.
That's all you fucking need.
Yeah,
is
yeah.
somebody telling
somebody
you, just go.
She's like, you're smart enough to where whatever you do, you're going to figure it out just fine.
That
And
life's not going to end if you fail.
no.
Failure's not a thing. Failure, it's just you try.
The only time you fail is when you quit trying.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Yes. That's it.
I can't tell you how many times I've
It's
messed
all.
up.
You can't land a kickflip first try.
No.
You give it 30 tries, and the one time you get it, guess what? You're not a failure
I didn't
anymore.
pick up a welding machine and start lacing up aluminum, No, it was a buildup of years and years and never giving up.
I'm gonna say again, I appreciate you coming here.
I appreciate the opportunity. I'm just
bugging the shit out of you to come and
No.
hang out. And
I just appreciate the opportunity, and I'm honestly just honored that just somebody was interested.
I think a lot of people will. I think that everybody's story matters. We look down at people and we think that because they don't have enough money, that their story doesn't matter. But
none of that shit matters, dude. I've been able to have whatever I've put my eyes on, and that's not a flex at all. But it's the only reason I say that is to tell you that all of that shit doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Not a single one of those things. Not the truck sitting out front.
No.
Not anything I got. Not a single thing matters. It's all just stuff. It's the people, the relationships that you've made.
Yeah.
And that's
We're
it.
all one human race. We're all friends. We there's no reason to be hating or even like money. Why is
it's just paper funny shit.
I'm tired
I've
of
always
it,
looked
dude.
at it as even my career. I feel like the silliest thing in the world is there's people that hold their jobs in this high esteem, like my career, this.
Fuck your job,
I got news
bro.
for those people. When you're dead and you're gone, they're not gonna put plumber. They're not gonna put electrician.
Do you want plumber? Oh, I fucking handled shit my whole life.
Well, what I'm saying is,
no,
like, that's not your.
I don't want to be called a welder. I'm
No.
not a welder.
No,
if you call me a welder, I'm fighting you. I'm an artist. I do art.
Exactly. Like, what I'm getting at is like they're not gonna put your job, the stuff you had listed on your headstone. They're gonna put your name, and you got to make sure that your name is worth a shit.
What makes your name worth a shit?
How you treat others.
I agree with that.
The way you carry yourself, the self-respect, how you handle things in high-pressure situations. Just the type of man you are, or woman. That's the only thing that matters.
I can tell a big difference from whenever you got here to where you are now.
I feel like 1,000,000 pounds is lifted off my shoulders.
Thank you for coming here and sharing.
Thank you for having me, dude.
Anything else you want to say to anybody?
No. I mean, no, not that I could think of. I feel like I got it all out. Maybe we could do another episode where we dig into welding a little more.
Yeah, we could talk some shit. You seem like you're on the verge of tears, so I want you to get it out if you have.
No, I'm good. I'm good. It's just kind of crazy to let it all out. I came here so nervous, and really it wasn't talking to you. It was maybe just the
Just
notion.
digging into your own life. This is my whole problem.
As a man, one of the least things you want to be is vulnerable.
It's to me. It's to me, it's like a bitch move. If you can't dig into your own effing life, your own memories.
I agree.
And I'm not saying like it's a bitch move because we're not able to do it, because it fucking hurts. It's a bitch move on the other people around us for not supporting us to be able to do that.
Yeah, we need to change the status quo. It doesn't need to be. The toughness of a man shouldn't just be measured on, the persona. You know what I mean? Like, you should be able to be yourself, be open and honest and emotional if you need be.
Hey, guess what? We have feelings too. Men have feelings. We hurt. We deal with shit.
Well, for a long time, guys are just expected to deal with this kind of stuff, not talk about it, put on the strong face and all that stuff.
But this is the thing. Men are getting weaker because we don't talk about it and share it. And so this right here, you're going to reach a group of people that don't understand, people who don't. And I think both of us together, we need to focus as welders, as people, creators who see this as an art form. We need to collaborate and make this more available to people who think that it's not achievable, because it is a dying art form.
Yeah, for sure.
Just like you said. And I think that
it's become so unattainable. It's so hard to get into.
It's so expensive.
So expensive. It's just the machine that I bought in 2016 is now 50% more.
I got charged $150 the other day for 10 lenses for my hood. I told my boss, I was like, just buy me a new hood.
Yeah, get the 2x4.
Just buy me a new hood every week. Don't buy my lens. He's like, no, I'm gonna buy your lens. I'm like, no, please don't. Just buy me.
I switched to the standard 2x4, little small viewing window, because the couple cents.
I have the speed glass.
I got away from that for that reason. Now
it just works. Does it work the same?
Yeah, you get used to it. You don't have the same field of view, but I mean,
I can't. I wear glasses. I have to have that big thing.
I wear my glasses. I wear glasses too under my hood. You'd be surprised. You adapt.
Yeah. Welding's so sick.
It is so sick, dude.
If you're a man, learn how to weld.
And hit us up.
Anybody, any kids out there, anybody who wants to learn, Instagram me, find me. I'm willing to teach anybody.
Absolutely.
I don't know.
I'm willing to. Anybody. I'm a great teacher with it because I feel like I break it down in common sense terms. So much of it you can pull up on YouTube, and they make it sound so scientific, and I can just make it easy.
Welding's easy. It's something that we all need. So Brett, I'd like to thank you, but gosh damn it, this one was hard, man. I'm very glad to sit down with you and have this conversation.
It's great. I needed it.
I really hope you come back, and I hope to collaborate with you and do something. Let's do something. Let's build a boat. Let's do something. You know what I mean?
I'm down. Start building that bug. Call me over.
Oh, you know what I'm doing. All right, guys. Thank you guys so much for coming back and seeing us. I love you guys. Bye.